Hello, everyone. My name is Laura Chekoratova, and I'm the Artistic Director of Salon de Virtuosi. Today, I'm speaking with the wonderful cellist who is coming from his dorm room in Yale. His name is Jonah Ellsworth, and he just recorded a concert for us, which will be streamed on January 19th on the Violin channel at 7 p.m. How are you doing, Jonah?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for playing for Salon de Virtuosi during these unusual times.
Of
Um,
course. Yeah, thank you.
we were delighted to have the opportunity to feature you in a unique space where our members and friends rarely have a chance to go. The space is called Rare Violins of New York. And that's where a lot of musicians get their really fine instruments and music collectors. And the space looks just beautiful.
Yeah,
How did you like performing there?
I loved it. Uh, beggars can't be choosers, right? So, I haven't done anything like that in a long time, and uh, the space is beautiful. The piano's great, and I had a great time. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we're glad we made it work. Um, One of the things that is interesting is that these days, so many musicians are communicating with the audience with recordings rather than live performances. And we actually spoke about this a little bit. How do you think about this concert? Do you imagine that you have an audience there, or do you try to get it like a recording? So it's tricky, especially when it's on video. Is this the first kind of video concert, or have you been performing virtually during this period?
So I know it's not the first. Here at Yale, we've done some chamber orchestra recordings, and we also did a Yale cello ensemble recording. And so, we've done it a couple times, but I would definitely say that this was the recording with the most pressure the other day, especially doing solo Bach and the foray was not easy as well. So this was definitely the highest intensity recording that I've done so far. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad that it sounded really great. So I'm sure our audience will enjoy the performance. Your program includes also Schumann, Adagio, and Allegro, two
That's right.
movements of Bach suite, and a Tchaikovsky beautiful melody. Um,
Yeah.
is that piece originally for violin, or is it
I
for?
believe so. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of violinists love it too. So I hear it all the time. So let's talk a little bit about your childhood. You went to Curtis first, then to the New England Conservatory, where you studied with Lawrence Lesser.
Uh,
What are some of your fondest memories from studying in these great places and being around so many fantastic teachers and musicians?
oh wow. There are a lot. Curtis was such a brief time there. So I guess I'll talk more about the New England Conservatory, but fondest memories. Uh, I loved the people there. I had a great group of friends there, and everybody was very supportive. And the level was also quite high, so we could push each other and in a good way.
Yeah.
And also the chamber music experience. I definitely had a wonderful chamber music experience there. The coaches are incredible, and like they have this honors competition for chamber music, and I was lucky enough to get that twice with two different groups. And when you do that, you get to play with the same group for a whole year. So I think that was one of the highlights
Yeah,
working.
to make friends. How about the performance spaces? I mean, I know that the buildings are quite old or old world buildings. In
Yeah.
Boston at NEC, they have beautiful, huge concert hall.
Yeah, so Jordan Hall is their main hall. And I grew up in Boston, and still to this day, am amazed with that hall. I
Yeah.
mean, it's so beautiful. It's amazing to play there. It's great to watch concerts there. I feel like I once heard Yo-Yo Ma say that in terms of chamber music, it's one of the best halls. I totally agree. Just a special place.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love Boston too. There's so many young people, and with the universities, professors, and it's just a great place to be.
Yeah,
Um, so now you're at Yale,
yeah.
and you're doing your second master's there. And even though there's quite a bit of social distancing going on, I can tell that you are on campus. That's wonderful, and you're taking in-person lessons and
Uh-huh.
classes. Everything's happening.
Yeah. Well, the academic classes are online. I think as is the case with a lot of schools right now. But we are very, very blessed and lucky that we are in a place where they're really trying hard to have some human contact, and uh, almost all my lessons are in person, and we're doing, as I said, some orchestra and some chamber and some ensemble and studio class all in person. And so just to see other human beings is kind of special now.
Yeah.
uh, and
Yeah, I feel that way too. And also to hear the sound, because it's so distorted when it goes through Zoom or the
oh
computers and the speakers. So to
yeah,
be able to listen to your colleagues and to your teacher demonstrate in person, that feels like a whole new experience, probably.
absolutely, yeah.
Mhm.
And I know I'm not supposed to be interviewing you, but so is it okay if I ask you a question?
That's fine. We're talking.
Like,
Of course, you can ask me a question.
so are you playing in person these days, or?
The same as you. Everything I do is also online. Everything so far has been recorded.
Okay,
But now in New York City, they're starting to vaccinate educators, which means
okay,
teachers can get the vaccine. So that's a really wonderful next step towards getting back to teaching in person and hopefully performing in person again. And it's
okay,
actually you lose the training, right? After you have
right.
played just online or recording, it takes some time to get the experience to get back on that stage. So I bet everybody will be super nervous the first time you start playing again.
Yeah, for
For
sure.
people, yeah, but it will be super exciting. I can't wait for that moment.
Right.
So you have been to the Marlborough Music Festival, which is probably one of the greatest chamber music festivals, and you do talk about chamber music all the time. I love chamber music too.
Yeah,
um, and Marlborough is probably like the crown jewel of chamber music.
yeah.
Who were your teachers there when you went there?
I mean, it's just a special place. I got to play with Arnold Steinhardt of the Guarneri Quartet, the late great Michael Tree from the Guarneri Quartet, and some of the current people now, Peter Wiley, Marcy Rosen. Uh, Even got to play a bit with Mitsuko Uchida and Jonathan Biss, the artistic directors. And I mean, the list goes on, but that's just a special place. And, people can go there for 3 years. Um, Maybe they changed it to two now. When I went there, it was three.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's so interesting looking back at the almost evolution of the 3 years. And I first went there when I was 20, and I feel like I didn't know what I was doing, and
yeah.
other people there were in their late 20s or early 30s. And they kind of showed me who was boss, and they I don't want to say they slapped me around a little bit, but they taught me the ropes a little bit. And it was hard, because I was the young kid, and I didn't know a lot. And then the next year started to get a little bit more comfortable, and then finally the last year I felt like I was really contributing more and
Right.
talking, and So, I mean, Marlborough is just a special place. I've
Mm.
since I've left, I've visited every summer. Not this past summer, of course, because it wasn't a festival, but it's just it's just a special place. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and this is probably how everybody learns to play chamber music. You just
Right.
get out there, and then your older colleagues help you out, and you know, that's the best way to learn, really, in real
Absolutely.
life situation. And then you get more confidence, more experience. You start to lead more and contribute more with ideas. And I love that about chamber music. And
It's great, you
yeah,
know?
it's the
It's
greatest learning curve, and you learn from your colleagues much
oh,
more
absolutely.
than if you just try to work by yourself, or even with a teacher, just
Yeah,
from playing with people, because there are things, nuances that you hear
absolutely. You
when you're
hear
playing.
that, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
You go back and try to see if you can make that sound, or you learn from it. So it's so
yeah.
special. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I'm very delighted that I had the opportunity to talk to you, so our audience gets to know you a little bit.
Hmm.
Usually our Salon de Virtuosi concerts have a nice dinner parties afterwards, so that's when the audience gets to ask you some questions. I'm
Uh-huh.
glad
Yeah.
that I was able to introduce you to them today. And we look forward to the concert. Once again, everyone tune in on January 19th at 7 o'clock on Facebook
Hmm.
and on YouTube. So the Facebook is going to be on the violin channel
Uh-huh.
for an international audience, and then on YouTube, that's the Salon de Virtuosi YouTube page.
Great, great.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Jonah.
Oh, thank you.
All the best.